Within the beginning moments of the game, Fusion looks up at a huge house in the foreground of the manor, with this house being a very large mansion. This mansion is none other than the Queen Anne mansion that Edwin acquired during the Mimic story, with his wife planning on fixing the mansion before her untimely death. Although I think it's all but confirmed at this point, this lends further credence towards Tales' game being true as a whole. Also during the beginning moments, Fusion points out another van in the parking lot, further showing that Arnold was not the first fast technician to be brought to the manor and meet their end by the Mimic's hands, with this van possibly belonging to one of the many bodies we see scattered and stuffed around the manor. While shutting back on the main generator, Fusion stumbles upon a body stuffed within one of Edwin's many costume mascots, with flies surrounding the body, implying that it's been there far longer than Arnold's arrival. It could be possible that this technician was part of the original recovery teams mentioned in the Mimic epilogues, and given the Mimic's penchant of stuffing bodies into costumes, it could even be possible that Aston got his idea to stuff the kids into the animatronics from the Mimic's escapades. Overall, it's pretty interesting and cool to see the more gory side of FNAF in an official game title. While also in the main power room as well as the sneak peek we saw in the Dolly chase scene, the manor uses molten lava to power several things within the building itself. This could explain the burnt and charred state of the Mimic's body within the very first epilogue of Tales from the Pizzaplex, with the Mimic being burned by this lava within the manor, with the Dolly chase possibly being the origins of the burns in the first place. With the manor itself, we see that it is in a rather secluded and out-of-the-way location, with trees being sparsely scattered throughout the landscape. This locale looks quite similar to both the location where the Pizzaplex was built, as well as where Henry's Pizzeria was constructed in FNAF 6. With this in mind, it could be possible that the manor was built close by the location where the Pizzaplex would eventually end up, or alternatively, after the manor was potentially demolished after the events of Secret of the Mimic, the spot where it once stood will eventually be used for both Henry's Pizzeria and the Pizzaplex. Right before entering the warehouse, one can see a quite rusty and old playground set, with a red ball lying on the ground next to it. The playground looks rather out of place when compared to everything else outside the warehouse. With this in mind, I think this playground was originally David's, with Edwin keeping it untouched and preserved, likely out of guilt and sadness, with it being the only reminder of his son left other than the Mimic itself. Lastly, while within the security office, Dispatch has two intriguing lines that could tie back to the events after the game.
We think that endoskeleton has a lot of potential, and that's why we want you to retrieve Murray's original schematic for it.
The first line could tie back to the manual that Lucille and her friends find inside the ruins of Henry's Pizzeria, with Fazbear using the original schematics of the Mimic to both create their Mimic 02 models, as well as potentially understand the Mimic's programming, leading to their use of it in the storyteller tree.
We'll be working on some ideas on how to neutralize this rogue endoskeleton, but in the meantime, just try to be quiet, careful, and focused on the task at hand.
The second line could tie back to the creation of the mixes, with Fazbear's newfound knowledge of the Mimic and its code, with the help of Arnold allowing the company to create the mixes to deactivate it. Or, alternatively, Arnold could run into Edwin within the factory, helping the man to finally stop and contain the homicidal endoskeleton by helping him finish the mix's supercomputer, which could tie into the unfinished business achievement of the game.